show.
Now, the 70s show, that's a big break, right? Because now you're a regular.
I wanted a different show.
What did you want?
So I got a different show that day.
Oh, what did you get?
I got a soap opera with a hot guy in it.
Yes.
The soap opera is no longer on the air.
Now, you're about 14 years old, right, when you got that 70s show?
I was in ninth grade.
You were in
14.
ninth grade. They were looking for someone who was at least 18. Did you lied and told them, or you just kind of didn't tell them the truth?
I fibbed a little.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of those situations where I really didn't even want the show. This is the truth. So it was pilot season, and I wanted this soap opera because the soap opera had a really hot guy in it. Right. And I was 14, and that's really all that mattered.
Right.
So I was like, I don't really care about this weird show about the 70s. I don't understand it, but this show is great.
Right.
And my manager was like, you're crazy, and we're going to go for this show. And I was like, whatever. So I auditioned for 70s, and the character's supposed to be 14, but in all television, they want you to be legally emancipated so you can work longer hours. And so I must have at one point said something to the extent of, yeah, they were like, are you 18? I must have been like, yeah, sure. I was clear. If you watch the pilot, I am clearly a child.
But it's smart. I mean, in show business, they say if somebody asks.
When I filled out the paperwork for the producer call, like towards the very end, I was like, oh, by the way, I need a studio teacher, and they were like, wait, come again?
If somebody says to you, they say in show business, can you ski? You just say yes, I can ski, and then you go figure it out.
I didn't know how to swim until I did a movie called Piranha, and they were like, can you swim? And I was like, totally.
I can swim with piranha.
No problem.
Yeah, piranha don't eat me.
Yeah. No.
But when you think back on your life, did you get the soap opera and turn it down, or did you just? Oh, you did, because your manager said, "Are you crazy?"
My manager's like, "You're crazy. You're doing this pilot."
Yeah,
and
thank God you took it, because that 70s show became a big hit. How many years were you on that?
8 years.
8 years.
70s show changed my life forever.
Yeah. No, I think it is unbelievable to me that Ashton Kutcher was on that 70s show. He was your first real kiss, not a kiss on the cheek on that show, and yet. It wasn't a romantic relationship ever, right? There was no romance there.
No, because remember, I'm 14. He's 19. I mean, there's something very...
that's weird.
You kissed him when there was that?
Be clear, he had to kiss me. I don't know who it's weirder for, the 19-year-old kissing the 14-year-old, the 14-year-old. My nerves, oh my God, do I remember this? And Bonnie Turner, who created our show, was so wonderful because I was so nervous about the entire experience, and she was very well aware, as I think the entire crew was. She bought me perfume and lotion and was
brushing your teeth.
Like, she was like, this always made me feel pretty. And I was like, great idea. And I doused myself with all of this.
It's like you were a vampire bride having to go, but Ashton being the good-looking, suave guy that he is, I would think that for you it would be like, oh my God, you must have had a little crush on him or something.
Okay, here's the crazy part. And I say this and nobody believes me.
I'll believe you.
Thank you, Howard.
Yes.
I never looked at him as somebody that was good looking. I never looked at him as somebody that wasn't. I just was like, here's like a guy that I'm working with for 8 years, and he's really smart, and I had to do chemistry, and he was better at chemistry than I was, so he helped me with my chemistry homework, and when I was grounded, he would drive me home. Like, he was. Do
you think he was attracted to you?
No, oh my God, no. Listen, you know him a little bit. I can promise you he was not to a 14-year-old child.
So when you get a script, and it says you are going to kiss Ashton Kutcher,
horrible.
So all of a sudden that sets something off on you because you're saying, hey, I'm 14 years old, I'm feeling insecure, all that kind of stuff. And you wanted to, I don't know, I guess you're just nervous about kissing him. Do you go and rehearse in his trailer kissing him? Or
that's like people's fantasy? No.
No, but I don't mean that in a creepy way. I would think maybe that would take some of the discomfort out of it.
You rehearse like 4 days out of the week.
Right.
To do a sitcom, but you don't actually kiss until the last day.
I see. And so this thing occurs, and again, it was very sort of mechanical. There was no.
For 8 years, we played boyfriend and girlfriend, and for 8 years, whether our couple was like on and off, whatever. Whenever we were on, when I tell you there was no romance between us as two human beings.
When you went through puberty on that show, which you did,
which I did the first year,
right? And
yes.
And you described you grew like 5 inches, and I
mean, I like to think so. Everyone still thinks I'm a little petite, but I'm like, I totally grew, you guys. My boobs went from like A to A+, so like that's growth.
Your boobs grew.
Yeah.
You go
to
through.
A+,
Yeah, right. Okay. You're an A+.
prior to having my first child, I was an A+. After baby number 1,
right,
they stayed bigger.
They stayed bigger. Mm-hmm. So you advocate having children to get bigger breasts.
Will grow.
What about the rumor that you had a child just to get bigger breasts?
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that was your plan.
That's not selfish at all.
No, not at all. And so what I find fascinating too is while you're going through this experience of being on TV, you still go to regular high school.
Fairfax High School.
And you're telling me then when you're in high school, that's not a big deal that you're on that 70s show?
No.
Come on. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe because it's LA. I don't know. It was one of those situations where I wasn't, I don't know how to explain it. It just wasn't that big of a deal.
And then when you go through puberty, are guys starting to notice you at this point? I mean, then you become a real beauty, right? I mean, you start to blossom. No?
I don't think that I was ever like hot. I think that's...
Oh, come on.
Howard, I'm telling you this. I mean, I don't think that I was unattractive, but I think that because I didn't have like giant tits and a giant ass, like I don't think that I was the epitome of what was considered hot in the 90s, in the 90s.
The Howard Stern Show.